Okay, good morning. Have you got your mojo with you for our mojo morning? We're gonna have some fun here this morning. I just spent the weekend, in case you're watching this and you don't know who I am, my name is Jen, and I'm not gonna go in a whole big introduction, but it's great to meet you if we're meeting for the first time. I just spent the weekend here in the Nashville area. Actually, I've been here all week. It's been a fabulous week. And this past weekend was Legacy Makers Live event, and it was absolutely phenomenal. My cup is feeling super full. If you have not registered for a regional event near you and you are feeling like your cup needs to be filled beyond just the 1 hour you get during like a Mojo morning or, a coaching call with your leadership team, whatever it might be that fills your cup, if you want your cup to be overflowing, make sure to get to a regional event because at these events, you're reminded of the bigger picture, you're reminded of the vision, and you're poured into in ways that seem to be beyond and out of this world. Now, who's been to an event before? Who's been to a corporate event, a big team event, whatever it might be? Now, the reason why I say it feels like it's out of this world is because in the conventional sense of the world in how people live their life day to day, we all have people that are not part of a community like this. So we can see this, at least I can see this, is that people don't understand what it's like to be in community with such positivity, where people voluntarily are pouring into you, helping you grow your mindset so that you can become the best version of yourself, which ripple becomes a ripple effect into everyone in your world that you touch thereafter. Does that make sense? And I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking about how I have been to, like, I can't even count how many events I've been to in the 16 years that I've been in this industry. Like, I have no idea how many events I've been to. I feel like I go to an event every month nowadays. And so at these events, every single event shifts you in ways that grow you, that feed into your confidence, your abilities, your belief, your like you can't help but just pour into everyone around you because you show up differently. Do you believe that when you show up a certain way, it affects other people? Do you believe if you show up as your best self? I'm looking at Val right now and I'm thinking like if she doesn't show up at school being that great teacher that she is and she's just like letting everything in the world get in the way, is she going to be able to pour into those students with all her heart? Nope. So we need to make sure we're pouring into ourselves and surrounding ourselves with things that are pouring into our like depths of our soul so that we can show up and be more for everyone else. And that's the ripple effect that changes things. Now, I don't even know where all that came from because it wasn't actually what I was going to talk about today. So what I want to talk about today, I'm just letting things happen here. Um, so what I actually want to talk to you about is when I speak to many of you. Now, I hope this comes across with love, okay? Take this with love. When I hear you speak, when I see you face to face, we're having a conversation face to face. I consider Zoom face to face. So if, we're not local and we talk face to face like this, I see it in your eyes, just the questioning of whether or not you can actually make this happen. You're trying, you're trying to believe it, but you're not there yet. You're working at it. I see you, Christine. We got to spend some time together back in April in South Dakota, so I got to know her a little bit better. And um like whether you're questioning whether it can really work for you. You see the evidence because you see other people succeeding, right? Do you believe that you're seeing other people succeed? We all have team members that are succeeding, right? So the evidence is there that it's possible, but then sometimes the voice comes in and says, yeah, but they're different. But are they? We might get that voice, which I like to refer to as Satan, right? That voice is not, it's coming from Satan. It's trying to keep you small so you don't go out and impact the world in the big way that God has intended for you. So you hear these voices that say, well, they're better at talking to people. I'm not good at talking to people. They have a bigger network than me. They're better on social media. I mean, I know I follow a couple people. I'm like, dang, they're so good. If I could just get better at social media, right? They got in at the right time. Has that ever crossed your mind? Listen, I've had success. I'm glad you're shaking your head, Christine, but I've had success in this industry and I have been told it. Do you think it's because you got in at the right time? I'm like, no, it's because I worked. I'm like, there's so many people that joined at the same time as me and they didn't have success. It's because I plugged in and I never gave up when it got hard. And it's not that it doesn't ever like not be hard. The more success you have in life, the bigger the challenges are. It's just the way it is, especially if you're working into a leadership position, the more people you have to support, the more challenges you're going to come across. But each of those challenges gives you the opportunity to growing your leadership, growing your communication. So we have to start looking at things as like an opportunity to grow, and that's where we will thrive. So when you're having a challenge, it is not because you're on the wrong path. It's actually because you're on the right path and you need to grow through whatever it is that you're challenged with. Maybe you look at someone and you're like, they're just naturally gifted. They're just naturally good at this. Have you ever thought that thought? I know, I know that I've heard that comment before. So, but underneath all of these reasons that we might like tell ourselves or the voices that might come into us, I think it just comes from fear. I really think it comes from fear because you're scared to believe that this could work and that you're scared to believe that you could be the one who makes it work. What do I do once I have it? I don't know what it's like to be successful. What does that even look like? And I get it because there's another side to this. Believing also means putting yourself out there. You might become more in a vulnerable place. People might say negative things. Well, if you haven't had a hater on social media yet, you're not getting loud enough or vulnerable enough. I remember, every time I get one, I'm like, okay, confirmation, I'm on the right path. Someone hates me, right? Like, you know, um, believing means going all in before you have the evidence that it's going to work. You have to have the faith. You have to have faith that it is going to work. Otherwise, you won't take action. So, what if the one thing standing between you and the success that you're desiring isn't another skill? What if it's not a skill? What if you don't need another script, another training, another strategy? Now, don't hear me wrong. I'm not saying don't be trained, right? But for those of us who've been around a while and we keep watching the same trainings in different formats, right? So what if we accept that we just are having a bit of a belief problem? What do we do about that? Because you can have every tool you need sitting right in front of you, but if somewhere deep down inside you, you don't believe in yourself, or you still don't fully believe in this, you'll never use the tools the same way that someone who believes will. Have you ever sat there and thought, I know what to do, I just can't get myself to do it? Have you ever felt that way on some days? Like maybe this, like, and I'm not saying like this has to be every day. There's just some days that this happens. And maybe you've been stuck a while in this place. I don't know. Because we have all the best tools in our toolbox. But I go back to the thought of like, we also live in this world that shuts everything we do down. Right. And so that's why we keep coming back to things like this, because we have to be reminded. We have to be reminded. And so there's two questions we really need to ask ourselves. Do I actually believe in me? Do I actually believe in me? And the second question that I want you to ponder is, do I believe in this? Because I feel like sometimes we want to believe, but we're still struggling in the belief. Would you guys agree? And I want you to know that that doesn't go away. The further along in your business, the more success you have, it still creeps in. We have to continuously feed the belief because we still have old operating systems that we're trying to rewrite, right? And some of us are still stuck immersed in environments that feed into the old subconscious thinking. Would you agree? Like, I think we all have people in our life that like we get around them and then it like
There's spiders everywhere.
it's like, Amanda, are you okay? I know how
I
you
know.
feel about spiders.
Sorry, I thought I was on mute.
That's okay. Um, oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I think that we all have people around us that we can be around and we feel like they literally put a pin in our balloon, right? And um that's why we need to stay close to the circle. That's why I opened this up with like, are you registered for regionals? Do you get together regularly with your team, with your people, with the people who you feel guide you and lead you in the right ways? Well, y'all showed up for me today. Thank you. I feel so honored that you all show up to hear me and hear my thoughts and let me pour you into you, just so you know. I feel it's an honor and I don't ever take it for granted because you guys chose to be here this morning. You choose to be here and that's huge. So thank you. Um okay, so if it's not your skill set, your experience, your connections or even your strategy that's holding you back, we need to kind of think about like how can we begin to build that belief? Like, are you guys thinking like, hey, yeah, I might have a bit of a belief problem? And I think at the root of it, we all can, it's a spectrum, right? And you might flow one day to the next to a different place, depending on what's happening around you and how much you're listening to that devil on the shoulder sort of thing. And one of the things we can do is practice like pausing and recognizing and becoming aware when that voice is speaking to us and saying, stop. Not today, Satan. It's not happening. You are wrong. That is not true. You are not speaking truth into me. What I know to be true is that I'm working, I'm growing. This is going to work. I believe in it because there's evidence all around me of success, and I want it. And then thinking about what can you do daily to move the needle forward, and then just taking those steps. Because we can't get the big success until we develop and grow and do the things we need to do to get there first. And I see so many of you have grown so much in the past year. I see you be bravely posting on social media when you haven't posted on social media before, trying to get that, that raw story out. I see you. And I see Trish going live consistently, showing up. I see you and I'm proud of you. You are showing up in that step that you're in and you're being consistent. So this is what happens. So this might, if you're like, I don't know if I have a belief problem. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't know if I have a belief problem. I think we know if we have a belief problem or not. We have to be real with ourselves, right? Because we can't get better if we're not real. If we're not truthful about the situation, and there was a couple moments this weekend where I had to sit back and go, crap, man, I got to work on that. You got to find your blind spots, right? And sometimes you have to humbly accept that, like, that's still a work in progress, and that's okay. Because we can't get better if we don't become aware of where we're at. So here are some things that happen when belief is low. So this might be a little flashlight, just bringing awareness, not because it's bad, just bringing awareness so that because we can't change things that we're not aware of. Okay. So this is what happens when belief is low. You hesitate. You hesitate before you do it. You overthink it. I know I hear all the time, I'm just an overthinker. Why are you labeling yourself as that? Every time you say that, you're feeding into your subconscious mind that that's who you want to be. Be careful of what you speak over yourself because your brain is always listening. You second guess what you're going to say. I'm really working hard on that one. Turning the filter off and letting it actually flow. I mean, you have to have like an intelligent filter. Like you don't want to just like, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? When I say turn the filter off, the filter of fear. I'll say that. It's the filter of fear. I got to turn that filter off of being worried about how like offending someone or that filter of fear that has me hesitate to really speak what I want to say, right? I still think we have to have emotional intelligence and still have that filter. Okay. The filter I'm talking about is the fear filter. The filter that makes us hesitate to say something instead of just letting it flow from our heart. Have you ever really wanted to say something, but then you held back? Because your brain like stops you and goes, wait, so and so won't like it if I say that. I mean, it's something I've struggled with, and I'm just starting to really recognize how much it controls me and stops me from going live. So I'm making the commitment to make more videos to put on mine. Not, yes, videos on like health and wellness and all the things that I already do, but unscripted. Here's what Jen thinks about this. I have no idea where that's going to go and what people are going to think about it, but I really feel like it's what I need to do to truly connect with the right people and attract the right people to me. So that's something I'm working on. So now that I've spoken it to all you, you're all going to be watching and keeping me accountable because we keep each other accountable here, right? So if you see and I haven't done a video in a long time, you gotta like tap me on the shoulder and be like, I thought you said, right? I've been working behind the scenes trying to get braver and just like letting things flow unscripted. Another sign. Oh my gosh, Mark is so good at just like speaking his mind, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen next? I never know. But I've learned to just let him be him, and I don't need to control what he's doing on his social media because he's separate from me. He has a separate brain and a separate body, and he can do what he wants. I don't need to control that. He's his own human. But yeah, he is someone that if you don't follow him, I don't know, maybe you want to follow, maybe you won't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he is someone who's never cared about what anyone ever thinks. He's so solid in his beliefs, not to say he's not open-minded enough to change his beliefs if new evidence comes forward. He will do that. But he just can speak in his belief and sometimes it can get a person into trouble. It can. But truly it's not necessarily a bad thing either. It just like makes those of us who like walk around with a filter of fear. It's like, man, if I could just like be that bold. Have you ever thought, man, if I could just be a little more bold? I know I feel that way. I'm like, I would attract so much more people if I could just be just like 1% more bold. So that's my commitment that I'm working on right now is being more bold about what I truly think and believe. Here's another sign that belief can be low. You share apologetically instead of confidently. Or maybe you try something for a few weeks, but you don't immediately see the results, so you pull back. Mm. Sometimes we just don't see it through to the end. Now, one of the things that I hear Tina Joy Carroll share all the time is that when she started, she was like, I'm just going to do it until it works. Like you might have to pivot, like not to say that you won't pivot from time to time, because sometimes we do need to pivot and learn. And like as we learn and grow, we pivot. But having enough faith to see it through to the end, and there is no end, but to see it through until you see the success that you're looking for. And now me, one of the things for me is I've never not had faith that it can work. It can be frustrating for how long it can take, but that's something we can't control. We can only control what we do each day and have faith that what we're doing will lead us to where we want to go. Um, okay. So, do I believe in me? The questions might become, do I believe I can learn the skills? Do I believe I can become the leader I want to be? Do I believe I can handle rejection? Do I believe that I can stay consistent long enough to see the success? Do I believe that I can grow into the person capable of the result I want? So those are the questions that you need to ask. And how you can build that belief, it's all about controlling the inner dialogue. rewriting the subconscious mind, saying, I believe I can. And when you do that, like, so one of the things that I do is, so you know how when we're kids, we're told stop daydreaming? So some of us maybe were those dreamers, daydreamers in school. You know, your mind wanders. You're thinking about what you're going to do later. What's going to happen at recess? What am I going to do at recess? What am I going to do? Right? Like we get told to stop daydreaming. The things of this world, the culture we live in is stop daydreaming, get your head out of the clouds. Well, I'm going to teach you the opposite. Get your head in the clouds. Start daydreaming a little. Take a little time every day to truly sit back and think about, like, what do I want my life? What would the perfect day in my life look like? What do I truly want? Close your eyes, feel it, breathe it. What would your nervous system feel like? What would your family feel like? Think about all of those things, like really truly feel the emotion behind it, because that's what I do. I feel it, like it can, like I can picture the realness of what's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but I have faith it's going to happen. I'm just going to keep taking action. I'm going to keep showing up to trainings. I'm going to keep showing up with like bold steps forward, getting uncomfortable, growing forward, keep up showing up and serving, because I think serving is a huge piece of it. Who are you serving? Who do you want to serve? Because truly, in this space, your life that will be created is the result of how many people you helped and you served. And sometimes it's a struggle because we're like, where do I even find these people? So, one, how are we showing up on our social media? Are we showing up really real, right? Telling the real story? Are we showing up? Are we sitting in that vision of what we're building? Are we sharing with others? One of the things that I remember when I first got started, my first year in this industry, I was the epitome of ignorance on fire. I literally was I was walking around telling everyone I'm new. So, forgive me if I suck. I was like telling everyone, like the first presentation I did, you guys, I think I almost passed out. Like I remember seeing spots at one point in time and I was like thinking in my head, like, I wonder if they can see how badly I'm sweating right now. Like you see me 16 years later, you don't see me on my day one standing in a room in front of 15 people presenting where I'm like, think I might die. My nervous system thought I was going to die. That's why it was trying to make me pass out. So, like, but I got through it. And so I think that doing the hard things to grow forward is important, but I think dreaming is the key and really having the faith that it can happen. You just have to start where you're at and grow forward, get uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable every day, and think about who you truly want to help and serve. Looking at Tracy's comment. Um, okay, so then the other question of, do I believe in this? Do you genuinely believe in the products? Have we not all had experiences and have people who have had experiences? We all believe that, right? We truly, like, that's not a belief problem. You wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in the products, I don't think. Right? Because most of us came here because we had a product experience of some sort. That's really like what solidified what we're doing here. Do you believe in the opportunity to believe? Do you believe that you can truly make money? There's evidence all around. There's people who are doing this full time. There's people who've made tens of millions of dollars. There's people who've retired their husbands. I mean, I had done that at one point in time for 8 years. For 8 years, this industry is what supported my family. We're back in rebuild, but that's okay. We can build it back. We're working to get bring Mark back in retirement, and it'll happen. I have faith. I can envision it. We had to do some growing through this. That's okay. So the evidence is there. So if the evidence is there, can we even say that we don't believe in the opportunity working? I don't think we can say. And sometimes it's because someone has said something to you, so that's like brought that disbelief into your mind, right? Because then we like, really? I think y'all believe in Trinont. I mean, I've seen other companies. I mean, we have a flood of people who are coming back to Trinont because they didn't have belief or something happened and they left and they're like, no, the grass is not greener on the other side. I've been in this industry for 16 years. I've only been with two companies, but I've seen lots. I have friends with lots, and we truly do have the best community and the best company. Do you believe that through the vehicle of Trinont that you can actually change someone's health, their finances, their options, or their future? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe, like truly believe, not want to believe, if you believe that you could change someone's health, their finances, their options, or their future. Because if we say we truly believe it, then why aren't we showing up boldly sharing this? Sometimes we lean too heavily on what the products do, not realizing that when you change someone's financial situation, you change their life in an even bigger way because their health will change as a byproduct. I think people need money more than they need the products. What do you think? Go ahead, come off mute if you're able to or want to. Like, do you believe that people need money more than they need our products? I mean, they need our products. I'm not saying they don't need our products, but they need money more than they need our products. Because how many people have you heard, I just can't afford the product? It's not because they don't want the products. Everybody wants the products. Anybody who's tried it for a second and then stopped because they told themselves they can't afford it, they want the products, but they need the money. So what I want to challenge you to do is to talk more about the money you're creating. Now, when I go back to the story, I remember where I was actually going with telling you about the beginning of my story. The beginning of my story was I was casting vision everywhere I was going. I'm building a team. I am working my way into leadership. I have vision of growing this big. I'm going to make money with this. I love that I get to make money by helping other people. I was working towards a trip. Y'all are working towards a trip right now. I was telling everyone I'm going on that trip long before there was evidence that I was going to actually earn the trip. I was shouting it from the rooftops. And so I think that we have to cast that vision boldly. I think sometimes what holds us back from casting that vision is fear of what if it doesn't happen? What are my people going to think of me when I told them I was going to do this and then it didn't happen? What do you think would be more relatable for your audience? You having to humbly say, you know what, I worked really hard for it. I learned a lot through the journey. I maybe didn't get it this time, but I know what I need to do next time to earn it. What would be more relatable? Or maybe you do earn it and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. I did this. Oh my goodness. I'm going on the first trip, free, all expenses paid trip with my company. I get to bring my spouse, my mom, my best friend, whoever you decide to bring. What would that feel like sharing that? Cast your vision outwardly of what you're growing. Even if you're just like a real heart-centered person and you're like, I just want to help people. How many people do you want to help? Tell the world. Jordan did a presentation for our team last night on something she's building out called the Hormone Happy Hour. And right boldly in her presentation, she says her goal is to help 1,000 people over the next year. How many people do you want to help? How many people do you want to help get started in business to create income? How many Jeep drivers do you want to have on your team? I know I counted for our team. We have over 100 qualified Jeep earners now. I'm so excited about that. That is cool. We got a lot of people that some people have taken advantage of the Jeep, some people haven't, but we got over 100 qualified Jeep people. Like you could go get a Jeep. That's cool. Oh, I'm going to address that, Molly. You say that you feel responsible for teammates when they're not succeeding. We're going to talk about that in just 1 minute. Um, okay. So if any of these things are shaky, you'll unconsciously put the brakes on when you're working. And people can see and feel your hesitation. So I'm going to give you, before I address what Molly's saying in there, I'm gonna give you just one piece of scripture today for you to just like go and read and study and like sit on. So Proverbs, which we know Proverbs is like wisdom, right? It's the book of wisdom. We need to get the wisdom in our minds. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. What are you believing today? Okay. Okay, Molly, I do want to address this because I think it's a common thing. We all feel responsible for teammates when they're not succeeding sometimes. Yeah. So ask yourself, did you do the best that you could to launch them, to grow them? What are you learning through it? That's important because we can learn and grow through our experiences with our new associates. How can we do better with them? Did we set them up? Now we've got this 48-hour game plan happening every Saturday you can plug them into, right? Like that's cool. Um, but yes, it's our responsibility to lead and guide them to the tools. However, a new associate coming in, it's still their job to do the work. And we are bringing in a volunteer army to work with us. It is their choice as to whether or not they show up. It's their choice. So if you are giving them the meeting IDs, you're inviting them to the trainings, you're inviting them to the overviews, you're showing them where the resources are, you're offering to speak with their people and help them have conversations. If you are doing all of that, you're doing everything you can do. Are you, maybe if you feel like they need something more, are you leading them to your upline sponsor or leader who then maybe they can try and help them? But at the end of the day, that new associate needs to show up for themselves. They need to do the work. They signed up for their own business. So they're ultimately responsible for their own. Because I could have had that same excuse. My sponsor showed up for day one and disappeared in less than a year. Here I am 3.5 years later, leading a team, leading this Mojo Monday. She wasn't there. She failed me, but I didn't let it stop me.
Yeah.
Right? So ultimately, we're all responsible, and our team members that join, they have access to all the resources and tools. We can't do the work for them. They have to show up. They have to do the work. I mean, of course, we want to lead and guide them to the very best. We want success for them, but it goes back to the old saying, you can lead a horse to water. And it breaks our heart because we see in them what they don't see in themselves. That's the hardest part. I've watched so many team members walk away from this business, and I'm like, oh, you'd be so good if you could just show up for yourself. You'd be so good at this. Like, it breaks my heart how many people choose, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. It's their journey. We all get the choice as to whether we show up, how long we show up for, and the actions we take. So, with that being said, continue working on your belief. Spend time daydreaming for what you're actually wanting to build here. And then cast the vision of that outwardly into the world through the conversations you have day to day, through the conversations you have online. Cast the vision of what you're building, what you're growing, because people follow people with vision. Would you agree?
Yeah.
If you've got someone in front of you who's wishy-washy, are you like, can I join your team? No, you don't want to be on their team. You want to be on someone's team that's casting a vision that you can say, I want to be part of that. Would you agree? When you see someone who's strong, bold, showing up, saying, this is what I'm doing, that is what keeps you here, I think, anyways. You find people in our community who you're like, yes, that's where I want to go. That's who I want to follow. I want to, like, because I look at people and the lessons I learned through watching my own mentors, and the more time I spend in their presence, the more confident I can be to show up in a bigger way. This weekend has been so huge for me, being in the presence of such amazing leadership and everyone showing up on stage so real. Oh man, you guys, things did not go perfectly. Nothing ever does. Fumbles, like mics don't work or whatever. Like there's things that happen. But to see that realness and how true leadership shows up anyway with their whole heart, that's what I want. That's what I want to build. Is I want to build an army of people who are just the everyday person, the underdog story. Everything was stacked against you, and yet you rose. You created. You changed your circumstance. You renewed your mind and became who you're truly supposed to be. You're living out your purpose, impacting, because I believe that our purpose doesn't come down to a job, a career, a title, or whatever. Our purpose in life is to impact others. You get to choose how many you impact. You get to choose how you impact them. And I think there's no better way to impact people's lives than through this community, through our products, our services we offer, I feel like there's no better way to be able to show up and serve and impact people's lives. And when you start showing up bolder and bigger, you impact people's lives that you might not even talk to because people are watching. And I don't mean to say that to scare you because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, who's watching, right? I know I've done that. I'm like, oh man, who's going to say what? Um, and so I think that we have to show up and not worry about that. Just know in your heart when you show up with your full heart, with the vision of what you're creating, with the knowledge and the knowing that what you truly have in your heart to serve and help others, that is when you will start seeing the rewards for yourself. Is when you care more about helping that person than what they might think about you. That's the shift. Because then you're going to serve them no matter what. And then they get to decide if they're going to take you up on it or not. But it's our job to put it out there to serve, to give, and have faith that the right people will get the message. And I was reminding myself as I was coming on to do this call today, I was reminded because I was like, I wonder if anyone's going to show up this morning. Because we all have these voices, right? Have you ever done a Zooming? You're like, I wonder if anyone's going to show up. So I was like, I wonder who's going to show up. And I just stopped myself and I was like, it doesn't matter. You're going to show up and you're going to serve whoever shows up. And the message that you give today is going to be the message that someone needs to hear. And just to have faith and let it be without trying to control everything. Do you sometimes get like me? You just want to control everything? I've done Zooms sometimes and been so frustrated. I've gotten so much better at this, but there's been times in the past where I'm like, why do I even do this? No one shows up. Do you know what I mean? But then I'm like, what is the learning? What could I have done better? Like I've shifted the way I think about things and I'm like, it doesn't matter. I show up for one, I show up for 10. It doesn't matter. I show up. Whoever's meant to hear this message today will be the one who hears this message. And I think if we show up more boldly like that on our social media, we will attract in more people too. Because I think too many of us are trying to keep things perfect and like leaning a little too much on AI and stuff like that. And I'm not saying don't use AI, but make sure it sounds like you. Make sure it's truly what you want to say.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. My time's up, but I want to just like I'll stick around for a couple minutes and then you can ask questions or share whatever it is that you want to share on your heart. I'm going to open the mic for you. Go ahead, Molly.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm kicking myself because 2 days went by. I was there at where did we go? Nashville. It took me 5 hours to get there because Dallas kept delaying my flight, one thing and another. Anyway, so I saw you from across the room, and you were busy or something was happening, and it was the Jeep parade thing, and I saw you across on the other side of the Jeeps, and I went, I never got a photo with you, and I'm kicking myself for that. And
Aw,
I didn't get to actually talk to you and introduce myself. So, because I come on
yes.
and crash your Zoom, this Monday morning Zooms every
Oh,
time
I love that you're
I
here.
look for it. And I definitely needed, I was the one you showed up for today for sure, because I needed this. Oh yeah, I believe. Well, why haven't you talked to so and so who's talking about maybe going to work at Costco part time because they both retired and they've adopted kids and and one thing and another, and she just thinks she wants some at least part time income, whatever. Well, I did finally invite her, and so, but yeah, but I was that way for a good 2 months, thinking she's going to go to work for her friend who has a wellness spa 10 miles from me, right? And so anyway, but the
Oh
other
my
thing
goodness.
was when you said you are go to the events all over the place, I would love it if you came to Dallas for the road show.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't
I
know if
wish
they
I
were going to
could,
have,
but I cannot.
I didn't know if they were going to have a peptide panel again, but
Uh,
that would be,
Stay tuned. Wednesday, I'm gonna do like my actual presentation. Wednesday on the Mojo Morning Wake Up Wednesday call, I am gonna do my peptide
oh, is that the one
presentation
with Mindy or
on
Jen?
Power Players. Yeah, I'm gonna do it with Jen on Wednesday. So if you want
Yeah.
to hear the actual presentation that I prepared and not what I did on stage, we can stay
Well,
tuned.
I didn't know whatever you did on stage was wonderful. And
Well, I had to pivot, but we are going to record that on Wednesday. So for those of you who didn't make it to the event, I was on stage doing a peptide presentation and my slides didn't arrive somehow. There was a glitch, an email glitch. They didn't get my slides, so I had to pivot and do it without my slides.
no.
And and I just let whatever come out, come out. And
Could
so it wasn't exactly how I had it planned. It came out like in the wrong order and everything. I said things that I wasn't intending to say. It was fine. It was what I guess people needed to hear there, but I'm going to do my full presentation with slides on Wednesday so that
could
everyone can learn and we'll have a recording. I guess that's why it happened. It happened because I needed to do this so that everyone could be blessed with the information.
you go, yeah. Could you then put that in Sidar's the Diamond League group and T
Yeah,
or
it'll be posted in there. It'll be posted in there because Jen posts in all the groups
oh,
when
good. Okay, so it'll be in hers, and I'm in Tina's actually. So
yeah,
in Legacy Makers. So
yeah,
yay. Okay,
yeah. Awesome.
perfect. Thank you
Thank
very much.
you. Thank you. Does anyone else want to share a few words before we say goodbye? All right. Well, I hope this was good for all of you. Keep working on building that dream of what you're truly building. Because I think you guys have the dream. I think you have the vision. It's the belief in the vision. And I don't think you're loud enough casting the vision. And I've been called out on that before that I don't speak enough about the vision I'm creating. And so this is me getting bolder to try and like show up sharing my vision of what I am building so that I can attract the right people who want to build that with me. And and so I will be showing up on my social media sharing more unscripted dialogue. We'll see how that goes. It'll be a learning experience for us all, I'm sure. But that is my goal is to show up more with just like raw video footage of me sharing random thoughts. I have a lot of them. So I'm just going to get public with what's actually in there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I love you all. And I really, really do appreciate that you chose to spend this time with me this morning. I will put the recording in the Legacy Builders. If you're not in the Legacy Builders team, message me. I'll also upload it to YouTube so that I can get you the link through YouTube as well. Okay. So if there's anyone who you think would be blessed by the message today, you're definitely welcome to share it with them. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing day. I am traveling tonight, so I'm not going to be on our Legacy Builders team call, but Veronica and John, I think John is going to lead the call, the team training tonight. So if you want to get on that, that will be at 7 o'clock Mountain Time tonight. And yes, I'm not saying if you want to get on that call because he's going to pour into you and that will help with the belief piece as well. Okay. Amazing. Go have an amazing week. And I will be home on Tuesday afternoon. So I got a long day of travel here. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.